Qapla world, it's Bird O' Prey 5. Today I want to explain the infamous 25% difference that Star Trek Discovery, which for our purposes can be interchanged with Secret Hideout, the production company, or even Alex Kurtzman, who has the 5-year deal with CBS. I know in the real world there's a difference between all three, but for our purposes today, for this video, they can all be used interchangeably. I am making this video because some people still claim this 25% statistic is made up, fictional, wrong, or even a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not a theory, so it can't be a conspiracy theory. Let me start off by conceding many bigger YouTubers have been talking about this for over a year now, and everyone seems to have their own unique idea on how this 25% difference works. However, just because one or two big YouTubers may have incorrectly stated the facts at one time or another doesn't mean it's bogus. Let me start with this article from comicbook.com, which is owned by CBS. On April 17, 2018, they reported that John Eaves, one of the two people tasked with creating the Enterprise 1701 for Discovery, wrote in a Facebook post, and I quote, "The task started with the guideline that the Enterprise for Discovery had to be 25% different, otherwise production would have most likely been able to use the original design from the 60s, but that couldn't happen. So we took Jeffrey's original concepts with great care, tried to be as faithful as possible. ... And of course the Jeffries he is talking about is Matt Jeffries, the original creator of the TOS Enterprise design, and his name was also given to what we now famously call the Jeffries tubes, which started as a joke among the production staff on the TOS set when someone put a note on the prop labeling it what we now call a Jeffries tube. But I digress. Back to this Facebook post from John Eaves. He is told he has to make the Disco Prize 25% different from the TOS Enterprise because production, quote-unquote, couldn't use the TOS design. Now here's where a lot of people are quick to point out John Eaves was wrong, and I agree. One word used in that statement was incorrect. It's not that Secret Hideout couldn't use the TOS Enterprise. It's that they didn't want to use it. I suspect Eaves was also not aware that the 25% different requirement from Kurtzman was supposed to be kept on the down low, and that's the reason he deleted the Facebook message, or at least the entire message. He could have edited it. This allows shill media to report Eaves was wrong and deleted his post as real news, which he did. But they ignore the fact he was only wrong about one small word in a long paragraph. A grown man does not just imagine someone told him it had to be 25% different. This isn't something you forget or make up on the spot. It makes total sense he was told that, and I assume he assumed the reason. Further, many YouTubers assume the reason, and it's a natural assumption to make for Star Trek, an IP who is owned, leased, and governed by multiple entities, at least at the time. So why would there be a 25% difference requirement if it's not a license issue? Because it's a money/marketing/merchandising issue. Everything in a business is ultimately about money, and there is a lot of money to be made from merchandising Star Trek. This had never been an issue before for Star Trek, and here are some examples. In 1979, I buy a Starship Enterprise. Who owns the rights to Star Trek? Paramount. Paramount owns everything Star Trek. Money goes to Paramount. Easy. In 1989, I buy a Starship Enterprise. Who does the money go to? Well, if it's a movie Enterprise, it goes to Paramount Studios. The box would probably say Star Trek 4 on it, and it would look like the movie Enterprise and not be an issue. Or if it looks like the TOS Enterprise, it would likely just say Star Trek on the box, and the money would go to Paramount Television. But in either case, they are both owned by Paramount Communications. So it's Paramount still. Easy. If in 1999 I buy a Starship Enterprise, if it's a movie Enterprise, it looks distinct. It will be marketed as from a specific movie, and the money will go to Paramount. If it's the TOS Enterprise, whether it's because I watched Balance of Terror on VHS, or because I watched the DS9 episode Trials and Tribulations on DVD, regardless if the box is marked as TOS or DS9, the money goes to CBS. A little harder, but not impossible. If in 2009 I buy a Starship Enterprise, it would be a lot like if I'd bought one in 1999, but with the additional hiccup that if it's from the movie Star Trek 2009, Paramount will need to send a portion of their money to Bad Robot under a deal they presumably made to get royalties for their original ships. That said, it remains easy to tell by the design of the ships where the money would go. So now in early 2019, if I had bought an Enterprise, if it's a TOS Enterprise, the money is going to CBS. If it's an original cast or TNG movie, the money goes to Paramount. If it's a J.J. Abrams Enterprise, the money goes to Paramount and then on to Bad Robot. But what about the Disco Prize? Well, since the Disco Prize is 25% different from the TOS Enterprise, it's easy for CBS to send along whatever portion they agreed to Secret Hideout. The Disco Prize is clearly not the TOS Enterprise, and someone who really cares about which one they own isn't going to mistake one for the other. What would have happened, however, if there was no 25% requirement, and they did use the TOS Enterprise and Discovery like they did in Deep Space Nine? Well, in that case, we have a ship that looks exactly like the TOS ship. Some are being sold based off of the TOS series in boxes, presumably marked Star Trek or Star Trek the Original Series. However, there are also identical or near identical ships being sold in boxes marked Star Trek Discovery. If I love the TOS Enterprise and I go buy one, I see it, I buy it, who does the money go to? Well, you could say if it's a TOS box, the money should go to CBS, but if it's a Discovery box, the money could go to Secret Hideout. However, if the ships look identical, who is to say whether I bought one because I'm a fan of Discovery or because I'm a fan of TOS? Maybe I didn't even look at the box at all. Heck, one time I ordered a Klingon bird of prey off Amazon, and I expected I would get, a Klingon bird of prey, aka the bestest ship ever. Instead, I got a J.J. Abrams Klingon bird of shit, aka
it should be hauled away as garbage.
The bottom line is, while Secret Hideout always had the option of using the TOS Enterprise from a legal standpoint, had they done so, they would not have been able to make any money from selling the TOS Enterprise, nor putting it on shirts, mugs, caps, or the like. But with a 25% different Disco Prize, they can now market and profit from merchandise clearly from the Discovery brand. Perhaps we should define different Star Trek universes, not based on time-traveling aliens or new timelines, but simply based on who is going to get the money from the merchandise sold. So now that Viacom and CBS have merged, this all goes away, right? No more 25% difference? No, not at all. Now in 2019, if I buy a Starship Enterprise, all arrows go through Viacom instead of CBS or Paramount. But there is still going to be deals in place that must be honored depending on whether it's a TOS ship, a JJ ship, or a Disco ship. The money still needs to be sent to the correct final destination. As long as Viacom, Secret Hideout, and Bad Robot remain separate companies, they must all maintain visually different ships and characters, so products sold under their respective labels can easily be distinguished by consumers, so the money ends up in the right pockets. As a consumer, we can and should buy the product we like most. If you like the TOS Enterprise, be sure you buy TOS Enterprises. If you like the Enterprise from the original cast films, buy that. If you like the Discovery Enterprise, then by all means, buy it. If you like the J.J. Abrams take on the Enterprise, go get your head examined. Then, assuming your doctors clear you, and you're not a danger to yourself or others, go buy one. Consumers vote with their wallets, and we should let our wallets decide. Hopefully you understand now that the 25% requirement isn't only real, it's necessary. We shouldn't be angry over it, and we should applaud it. Without it, we'd have no way of voting for our favorite Treks. And if you'd like a chance to win your own J.J. Abrams Klingon bird of check your nearest public toilet. You may already be a winner. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.